And I think that in 2030, this could be a $1 trillion company. Could be.
When we invest, we all do it for different reasons. To do the things that we want to do, to live the life we want. And I believe that Tesla will allow me and many of us to retire by 2030.
Nice.
Now this video is very straight to the point, and I will share how we could retire on Tesla stock by 2030. So let's get right into the news, the facts and data without wasting any more time right after you gently smash the like button and subscribe. So why Tesla stock? Well, if you're here for the first time, I am very bullish on Tesla. You see, the majority of my stock portfolio is in Tesla. I see a future where Tesla will be the biggest company in the world, bigger than Amazon or Apple, but on a much bigger scale. Because Tesla is not just a car company. Now, before we continue with the video, and since this video was filmed before earnings, I wanted to go over what Elon just said, because everything around it sounded very optimistic. And Elon also believes that in fact, Tesla could one day be the world's biggest company out of any industry. And this is also something that I've been saying for a long time. He essentially said that Tesla could be worth much more than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. And for context, the two companies combined would make for a $4.4 trillion market cap, while Tesla is just sitting at roughly $700 billion, which only increases my conviction in Tesla and for the long-term growth of the company. Well, now let's go back to how we can retire on Tesla stock by 2030. Because Tesla is not just a car company, it's also an energy, AI company, an insurance company, and a life savings account company. Tesla is many different companies disrupting some of the biggest industries. I also have a high conviction that Tesla will be the biggest company in the world. Now, I have different Tesla price projections for 2030, a bear case, a base case, and a bull case. And we are going to keep things very, very simple. So if you're asking yourself if it's possible to retire on Tesla stock during these times, then the answer is yes. Tesla will not only survive the next 20 years, but it will also dominate the next 20 years. Now, before we go over the amount of shares you need to retire, we need to go over Tesla's price projections for 2030 and the reasoning behind them. You see, we had Ron Barron, the billionaire founder of Barron Funds, managing $50 billion in assets, who also owns 1.6 million shares of Tesla. Now, in this interview in 2018, he called out Tesla growing 50% annually. In simpler terms, that's significant exponential growth. He also predicted that Tesla will be a $1 trillion company one day, and in 2020, he updated his prediction to $2 trillion.
They are growing at 50% a year. And I think that in 12 years, we think in 12 or 13 years, 2030, this could be a $1 trillion company. Could be. I think it's clear they're going to be a triple. It'll be 60 billion in 3 or 4 years, but they could be, this could be a real big company.
We also have Chamath Palihapitiya, who is a long-time Silicon Valley investor who cannot believe that after all these years, people are still betting against Elon Musk, who every now and then launches rockets into orbital space, does something useful, and then the rockets land back on Earth all on their own. And people are always so focused on Elon's tweets that they are missing the whole point here. He compares Tesla EVs to the iPhone, while everyone else is still trying to play catch up.
None of the actions that he's done over the last year or so give you pause at all?
What do you mean? Meaning the Model 3 is an incredible car. I just bought one. It's incredible. I bought it the way that it was...
Funding secured? I mean, what was that?
Okay, maybe he stepped out of bounds. My point is, if you get caught up in all of the stuff around the edges, maybe he may mistweet from time to time. My point is, who cares?
And lastly, we have Cathie Wood of ARK Invest, who predicted a $4,000 price target for Tesla. And guess what happened in 2020? Tesla broke out in a big way, meeting Cathie's projection of $4,000 a share pre-stock split.
One of two things is going to happen. It's either going to break down, and that's what a lot of the bears have been betting on, and they've been throwing everything at it, or it's going to break out. Clearly, we believe it's going to break out. And the longer the base, you say 5 years, the longer the base, the bigger the breakout.
And we also have Tony Serba, who in this video from 2014 gives a historical example of previous disruptions, like the horse to the car, cell phones as well. He explains that usually it's the experts and insiders that cannot seem to figure out what's coming. He also predicts that all mass market cars will be electric by 2030 and oil will be obsolete.
All new cars will be electric by 2030. All of them. Every new mass market car will be electric by 2030.
Similarly to what Kathy Wood just said in a very recent interview.
If we had to be concerned about an industry, it would be the traditional auto industry. We think that gas-powered vehicles are going to be obsolete within the next 5 to 10 years.
And if you don't believe that gasoline vehicles will one day become obsolete, well, remember what happened to Kodak, Blockbuster, Nokia, BlackBerry, Sears? In my opinion, Tesla is bringing extinction-level catalyst to the entire auto, oil, and power industries. Now that we have that out of the way, my approach is very conservative. You see, the FIRE movement means withdraw what you need from your stocks portfolio for your daily life and invest the rest. This is not a dividend investment play. Most dividend stocks don't move much, if not at all. It's all about investing in high-quality growth companies. The capital gains will surpass the dividend received by much more. And as your capital grows, you sell your stocks to fund your daily life. You see, Tesla is a high-growth manufacturing and software company, 40 to 60% annual growth rate currently, and by the time Tesla matures and grows up, growth rate should look like Apple at about 20 or 30%, which is still very high. So long-term, Tesla's fundamentals are only getting stronger, and Tesla still has yet to mature. And Elon Musk many times has stated that the energy business is going to be bigger than their vehicle business. The FSD real-world AI component is probably the most valuable SaaS product in the foreseeable future, and as with all SaaS products, it will be high margin and easy to scale globally. The Tesla bots will also redefine the labor market by allowing significantly to increase the productivity while closing the labor shortage. So now that we have that out of the way, how many shares do you need to retire on Tesla by 2030? Alright, so let's get into the numbers. So by doing a little bit of research, the average monthly expense in North America is at around $5,000 per month. And that's for a family of 2, which comes to at around $60,000 per year. And for a family of 4, it comes to $7,000 per month, coming to $84,000 per year. And obviously, living with a spouse or a significant other will make living costs a lot more expensive. But for the sake of making this video short, we will calculate how much you need to retire on Tesla stock for just one individual. Now this means that the average monthly spending in America would be at around $3,000 for just one person, which makes it $36,000 per year. But let's say that you plan on traveling a lot, maybe enjoy your retirement more than you like. So we can really round that number up to $5,000 per month for monthly expenses. That would mean you would need to have $60,000 per year for retirement being withdrawn. So then that would mean that every month you would need to withdraw $5,000 very comfortably to live the life that you want to live. And let's also say that by 2030 you decide to sell your entire Tesla stock because you made a lot of money and now you want to put your money somewhere else safe that's not too volatile. That way your entire retirement account does not have to go down the drain. And that way you can have a pretty much guaranteed return. And well, I am talking about the S&P 500 because on a yearly basis, the S&P 500 gives you between 8 to 10% return annually. But we're going to be very conservative here and say that it's going to give you 8%. Now that number that you need to sell Tesla stock by 2030 needs to be at around 2 million. Given the fact that the annual return of the S&P 500 is 8%, you want to withdraw $5,000 every month, and if you have 2 million by 2030 and then you put all of that into the S&P 500, well, that will last you close to a lifetime, which is incredible. And I chose 2 million because life happens. You might end up having a family, so all of those costs still apply. Now for you to have $2 million and be able to retire by 2030 very comfortably, you will need 500 shares of Tesla at my bear case. Now for my base case at $10,000, you will need 200 shares of Tesla. And for my $15,000 bull case, you will only need 130 shares of Tesla. Now that sounds so simple. I mean, do you think that it's easy to get 130 shares? Let me know down in the comments below. Now I'm not done yet. A few factors can actually influence this number. You'll need more stock if you need to pay capital gains tax if you live in an expensive city like Los Angeles. Now if you want to get involved in philanthropy or you want a longer retirement duration, you'll need more stock. And if you continue investing in growth stocks like Tesla, which may be riskier than investing in the S&P 500, a major risk. So I believe we should invest money that we can afford to lose and increase our resilience by having other sources of income and just being more diversified. Now wrapping up, my stock price of $4,000 is a very conservative bear case. I believe that many of us will be able to retire even with that bearish case scenario. Now these prices don't include how much revenue Tesla's robotics unit will bring, as Elon has said that the Tesla bot will be worth more than their car business. So I am very optimistic on the future of Tesla, and in my opinion, Tesla is still a baby company when compared to the Amazons and the Apples, and I believe that Tesla still has much more growth to do. Now do let me know down in the comments below, do you have enough Tesla shares to retire? What is your Tesla price prediction for 2030? As always, if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give this video a like, share it, and subscribe. Until next time.